Good morning to every American. I am making this video from San Diego. It's 1:25 a.m. in the morning, and today we're gonna talk about something very, very interesting. I hope you watch the video to the end, not because I wanted to have watcher, no, it's because the solution what I'm gonna talk about, I think, is gonna be in the end. We're gonna talk friendly wise about what's really going on in this very difficult time everybody is going through. Well, this video is not about politician or who's gonna be the president or Trump or Mr. Biden, President Biden or President Trump. Let's put all jokes around and let's put all politician aside. Let's talk about us American. Yes, I am American like you. Even if I'm a migrant to this country, but I'm American today, and I just sleep and wake up dreaming what is the best solution that we can have in a pandemic time like this. Of course, today they come up with the best news they have for the last year, which is the vaccine that is going to be distributed by Monday by FedEx and UPS. And everybody's excited, everybody's happy that we see a light in the tunnel. Maybe it's a long way to go, but at least it's something improvement, a new improvement. Okay. But let's go back a little bit and let's talk to each other one to one and hear me talking to you guys because I'm one of you. America, we are in trouble. Like maybe a very small percentage that they're not in trouble because they have enough money to survive. Maybe they save in their life. Maybe they have a better plan than most of us did. Maybe they got lucky. I don't know. The thing is, we're gonna talk about reality today. We're not jealous of anyone. We're not looking at anyone. We just need to find the solution that's gonna help us for real. Now, when we talk about the pandemic is not only the sickness, it's not only the virus. The virus is physically killing, watching in the news, almost 3,000 people a day, which is, it's not in the wild dream we can even thought about this last year. If you tell any American last year in January that we're gonna have something will kill 3,000 of us a day, nobody will believe you. They will say you're crazy. So if they're saying that when the Japanese come and hit our our ships and they kill 3,000 people, when September 11 happened, 3,000 people die, and that was the biggest two tragedy happened in our time. Now we're living this every day. 3,000 people is dying every day, daily. Plus, I don't know, now it's 160 or 200,000 get infected every day, so it's just out of control. Okay, but that's not what I'm talking about today. Knowing that this is a problem right here, everybody's thinking about it, everybody's panicking, nobody know who's gonna get sick, who's not gonna get sick. All of us have to deal with life. We have to survive. We have to continue. Hope is always around. But let's count what the pandemic did. Number one, which is the worst, is physically killing people very close to us. I think everyone now in America have a friend or have a family member or a cousin or somebody he knows that been hit by COVID-19. Some of them make it, some of them got taken. Sorry for them from my heart. And some will make it, some will live sick, some will be okay. We don't know. Even the vaccine they make, they're not sure how far it's gonna be for, what is going to do. The people is gonna take it after a year, after two. They didn't have enough time to study it for years yet. Which we're not blaming anybody because the scientists, they did their best. They come up with something to limitate the problem and size it down. So we're not gonna blame nobody. Not the scientists, not the president, not the government. Well, I wish all the governor or all the United States, by federal law, they did make a shutdown in the beginning and to stop the planes and stop people coming in. If we did this maybe 10, 11 months ago, for a month, 100% we're not going to be in this problem today. But whatever happened, and we're not going to talk about the past because it's not going to help me, it's not going to help you, it's not going to help anyone. Today we're talking about other problems. So we have the pandemic, we have the sickness going around and get transmitted every day to everyone. And then we have the consequence happen because of that, which is we have the economy went down because 90% of the business shut down because they got sick, because there's no circulation of money, because the economy is going bad. Now, of course, we're not talking about rich people that they have stock market and they're very happy and celebrating right now because every day they're going to sleep, they make 2-3 million when they're sleeping because the stock market is going up. How many of us American 300 million, how many people are like that? Now I'm talking about the majority of us, which is the low income or the medium level of the American, which is they used to live good and now they went down to the ground. So we're not talking about poor people, we're talking about people last year, they was full of hope and full of energy and full of everything. And they didn't care. If they didn't like their job, they can change it tomorrow. If they didn't like this, they can change it tomorrow. We don't have those options anymore. We got limited. We wake up and we found ourselves in a new planet, like we live in the moon now. This is not America that we know last December, last Christmas. Nobody thought about it. Nobody even think about it that life is gonna change at 360 degree the way it happened. It's just unbelievable. So the main problem now, so sickness, economy, hunger. I don't know how many people lose their job, 60, 70 million, I don't know. We see the lines every day in TVs. How many people are lined up with beautiful cars? You think they're rich, but they're lining up for hours to get some bread and to get some fruit and get something to eat because there's no jobs, and that lead to homes. There's no homes. Yes, the country, the government give us some relief in the beginning. The Congress allowed 4 trillion, I believe. And those 4 trillion was given to relieve the people as a gift, not even as a loan. But I believe me and you and million like us, we didn't feel him. The most he got was $1,200, a check signed by the president, like he paid to us from his pocket. No, that was the government money, and that's all the people see since the pandemic stopped. $1,200. That won less even 2-3 weeks from the day it was issued. So if you got the check 10 months ago, you've been without money for 9 months and a half. And you don't know what to do, and nobody's helping you. Yes, they come up with some more help, says that for people not to get evicted from their resident. So they come up with a law to protect people are renting from March to December in most of the states. I think California is the only state extended to January. So there's 15 million family, American citizen, American human, being pushed and being not going to sleep every day because they don't know what the hell they're gonna do after Christmas. Are they gonna be in the street because that's the limitation of the protection of the government? I don't see any new law comes in. I don't see anybody is talking about it. The news is talking about it. Some state, I was just watching in CNN, like Florida, people has already been evicted from their houses. People are sleeping in the street. And if we really have to deep think a little bit, just imagine 15 million family will face this reality by the end of this month. And even if we make an exception for California by the end of January, and I don't think the government is thinking about it or they didn't even know what to do. And maybe this is the reason why they're not talking about it, because they don't know for real what to do. We're talking about 15 million family. We're not talking about 15 million person, because each household, 3, 4, or 5 people, kids and husband and wife, and so we're not talking about 15 million. We're talking about, you multiply 4 or 5 by 15, you're talking about 50, 60 million American gonna be in the street. Now, if everybody closes his eyes just for a few seconds and think about it, can you imagine 60 million people in the street without a home? How this country is gonna look like? You're gonna get out of your, if you still have a house, if you are an owner or somebody have money, you're gonna go anywhere, you're gonna find people in the street. We're not talking about 10,000 people or 15,000 people or 100,000 people. We're talking about 15 million family, 50 or 60 million human being. They're gonna be in the street. I don't think in the first recession in the United States in the 40s was that much people become homeless without a home. Now, when that happened, what the government can do, what the governor can do. If we talk about United States as United States, or we're talking about state by state, it doesn't matter. It's all going to be the same. So, can you imagine how much money is going to cost the government to fix that problem? once it happened. How is these people they're gonna survive? I mean, they given them a this penalty, like they send them to die. Because when you're talking about December and January, when most of the state is iced, you are home and you are cold, and I'm having a hole in my head, and the heater are next to me, right next to me, just to feel warm. Now imagine you in the street with your family, with no home, and the sickness is around, and the sickness is from the same family of the influenza, right? So, are we sending 15 million family to finish them? 60 million. We are 300 million. That's one fifth of the American population. And let's open up a little bit and talk about it. I'm not gonna make the video long or anything, but I really wanted to have a discussion with everyone. And once I'm done with this video, I'm gonna send it to CNN, YouTube, to the government, to Mr. Trump, to Mr. Joe Biden, the two presidents. Somebody have to come up with something, because when 60 million American become homeless, we're gonna lose our image, we're gonna lose our health, we're gonna lose our name, we're gonna lose our, America is not just a word. America is, for the whole world, is a country with a power, with some kind of power that no other country achieve yet. So we're throwing all this at once. I don't care. I mean, I care about those people more than how's the world is gonna look at America. We're gonna become like Africa, like the poorest country in earth, that we cannot take care of one issue when we are the richest country in the world. Now let's talk about the negativity of what's going to happen, and then we can talk about how can we fix this negativity to make it positive. Can you imagine 15 million family in the street? Again, I'm going to say 50 to 60 million person, because each family is not only one guy. Each family is minimum a wife and two kids. That's four. And they will be in the street because the judge, once the COVID-19 terminates, everybody is going to be kicked out. Now, for the government, how many trillion they're going to spend to fix the problem when they see 60 million people in the street? First of all, it's going to take them forever once they are in the street, if they can catch up with them before they die. Because when you send family to the street in this weather, with a virus going on in the country, you are welcome them to the grave, because they're not gonna make it. So first, chances of them not survive is very high. And if the government wanted to react, what they're gonna do? They're gonna build houses for them? And if they do, how long is it gonna take to take 15 million family? We need 15 million home, right? How long that gonna take? And how much money that is gonna cost? It's very sad. And why I'm talking about it? Because I'm one of them. Yeah, I have a lawsuit with the owner of this house is suing me. He wants his house back. So I'm on the deadline like everybody else. I'm not saying it because I'm just, I don't care, I'm rich and I'm just talking about poor people. No, I am one of those 15 million. So, but God give each one of us a brain. So if anyone have a bright idea, he need to come up with it. It's time. Maybe the whole United States government, they couldn't come up with a bright idea. Because they're fighting for who's gonna be in the White House. Because we have an election, we're gonna let 50 million family die. Because nobody have time to think about those people. Everybody is busy with the election and the electric vote and I have 7 million vote more than you. No, you don't. I'm gonna sue you. I'm gonna go to Texas. I'm gonna go. I mean, it's all politician here. Beside the 3 million people, the 3,000 people dying every day from the COVID, beside the 160, 170 people getting sick every day, beside that the hospital is already full in most of the state. So if you get sick, you don't know where to go to get treated. And it's just getting worse. Nothing is getting fixed. Vaccine, yes. Yeah. Vaccine is the light. Everybody's excited. But when they tell you that it's going to take a year, maybe to just vaccinate half of the American only. So how long is it going to take to vaccinate it 100%? 2 years? So for sure those 15 million family are gone. And this number is growing every day because every day a lot of people is getting sick, a lot of people is getting kicked out of their work, so they can't pay rent. So we're gonna end up with not 15 million people get kicked out. No. In 3-4 months could be 50 million kicked out. Half of America is gonna be in the street. Is that make logic? Is that logically? Is that real? And me and you and every American know we still the richest country in the world. So if the government in the beginning of the pandemic give $4 trillion as a gift because of the pandemic, okay? Do you know I have exactly how that money was spent? 2.5 trillion went to business. So more than half of that money went to small business, which is not fair. I'm not against anybody have a business because I lost my business too. I haven't worked for anybody for the last 25 years. I used to have my business, I worked on my business, I lost. I didn't get anything. But whoever did, good luck for him. What these people did was the money. Now the governor of California start this week, he's looking the money come to California, how was spent. Because when half of the money of the 4 trillion goes to the business, that people have money to survive and didn't go to the people are dying of hunger, that's not fair. The only money went to the people, to the American, to people are really need money, was 880 million. And the rest, you make the math. I don't know where it went. So that this business needed the money to get out. Some of them did, but the majority take million and 2 million and 3 million, not to fire the people they have so they can keep going, but they take the money and fire the people anyway, and they pocket the 2-3 million they take. So we created millionaires by the free money. It's not a loan. So the government give free millions to rich people, to people who already have a home, they own their house, they already have money, they're not hungry, they don't need help. Well, they're gonna lose some money, but they're surviving. But how about the people who didn't have anything? They didn't have a business, they didn't have a house, they didn't have a saving. Their bank account probably minus. I'm not saying even $1,000 in there. They haven't paid rent. They're gonna get kicked out. They don't know where to go. They're hustling to put some gas in the car to go look for a job. And how are you gonna be able to look for a job when you know that you're gonna get kicked out of your house by the end of the month? What's the government the best they can do? Extend it for another 2-3 months? Is that really a solution? If they come today and tell me, you know what, you're not gonna get kicked out in 2 weeks. We're gonna give you 3 more months. What's gonna happen in 3 months? I'm still not gonna go to sleep because I know I'm gonna get kicked out in 3 months. I don't have my family secure. So where does that take me to? Just think about what I'm saying here. Because this is really happening in a couple of weeks from now. And we're gonna see this with our eyes. Not me, everybody. It is reality. We're gonna have 50, 60 million people in the street. Now, how many are gonna make it? How many is not gonna make it? How much they're gonna spread the virus more being in the street? Because they're gonna get sick anyway. And if they didn't die, they're gonna be in a very sick condition. And how many millions they're gonna make sick behind them? And how's the country gonna look like? And when people are desperate in the street with no home and they have families and they have no money and no house, what do you think they're gonna do? And I'm talking about poor, good people. Do you think some of them not gonna go try to steal some food for their family to feed their kids? Even if it's not a thief. You're gonna see your kid dying in front of you because he's hungry and he have no shelter. He's in the cold. He's not gonna go steal some clothes for him. So what are we creating here? We're creating a very, very bad environment. And how can we blame them? If they do wrong, how can you blame them? They didn't do it because they have a bad conscience. But when you see your family in needs in front of you, you need to do something. It doesn't matter what you're going to do, but you need to do something. You're going to let them die in front of your eyes, and you're going to just be sitting down looking at them. That doesn't make sense, right? Okay. So, the reason for that video today is not talking about a problem and being negative. No. I think I have a diamond solution that the government can do. I don't care. I just have the idea. Whoever want to take the idea and do it, he can name it to himself. Do you think United States of America, the richest country in the world, cannot afford to buy 50 million house? And fix 60-70% of the biggest problem is gonna hit. Let's talk about it a little bit. Let me explain what I'm thinking. What is the problem? The problem is not fair because the government cannot pay the rent for the 50 million. And it's not fair for the owners of the house because they're not getting paid. Which is logically, if 50 million house got empty by the end of the years, I think 10% is going to get rented and 90% they're going to stay empty. But the owner of the house is going to feel comfortable that he doesn't have a problem. The house is empty and the people are in the street dying. Is that fair? Well, I mean, it's his house, it's his money, but is that fair? No. But we're not going to blame the landlord and we're not going to blame the renter because why people is not paying the rent? Because there's no jobs. Why there's no jobs? Because it's a lockdown. Why is it a lockdown? Because of the pandemic. What happens with the pandemic? Most of the businesses close and people cannot go to work because either they're going to get sick or they didn't have enough environment to work in, the right environment to work in, and there's no money circulated, so there's no money in the pocket, so they cannot afford to pay the rent. Now, the 15 million houses. I live in California, I live in San Diego. Any house here, nothing less than $500,000, up to $1 million. Those are the houses are for rent. But when we talk about 15 million houses, we're not talking about California only. Maybe in California, 2-3 million houses, people is gonna get kicked out. But between all the states, are 15 million people gonna get kicked out. So in other states, houses are a lot cheaper. Arizona, Nevada, South Mexico, Mississippi. I mean, any other state, it's a lot cheaper than California. California, Miami, and New York are the most expensive real estate. So we have to put an average, just an average. So if we say the houses here in California are from 500,000 to $1 million, and in another state, which is a lot cheaper, maybe half of that price or maybe less, there's houses in Arizona and Nevada worth 200,000, the whole house. You buy it for 200,000, no payment. So we between the 15 million houses all over the states, we can come up with a number. Let's say that number will be $500,000 a house or $400,000 a house. Now, I'm not talking to a businessman for a deal here. Let's make a deal or let's make business. No. I'm talking to the government of the United States. Can the government afford to buy 50 million houses? Yes, they can. Very easy for them. First of all, they're not going to pay full price because not every one of those 15 million people own their houses and paid for it. So each owner owns a house. He probably have an equity of 200,000, 300,000, and the rest belongs to the bank. So if any of these owners wanted to sell his house tomorrow, first of all, he won't be able to sell it because nobody have money to buy it now. Secondly, even if the house worth $500,000, the $500,000 doesn't go to his pocket. He only get whatever equity he have in the house, and the rest belongs to the bank. And the U.S. Treasury can buy all these loans from all the banks and refinance it to the people living, because we are in a danger time. We need solution. I don't see better solution than this. So let's make a very simple math here. So if we're talking about the average of the house is going to be around 400 to 500,000, because some states are expensive, some states are cheap. So we have to come with an average. So if we come to an average of 400,000, knowing that the owner does not own the house because he's not paid for it, at least 80% of them, they only own half and the other half belongs to the bank. So the government have to come up with $200,000 for each house, times 50 million house, that's 3 trillion. But this is the best 3 trillion United States can spend in history. Look at the benefit here. They don't only fix problem for 50 million person. We're talking about 15 million houses, have 15 million family. So we're talking about 50 million American citizens going to be in the street. And we don't have to forget that we're also helping 50 million landlords, because they sold their houses to the government. And those 15 million landlords have family too. And they probably 3 or 4 too. So here's another 50 million people we did help. So we help the renter, which is 50 million, and we help the landlord, which there are 50 million if you count them with the family. So with that solution, we help 100 million American person, 1/3 of our population. Why would the government do that? Because it's going to cost them 10 times if those people go on the street, between medical expense, problem, stealing, murder, killing. We don't know when 50,000, when 50 million people in the street, what's going to happen to the country. It's going to be a mess, a big mess. Like, I don't think they ever make a movie talking about that, or even close to that. Just imagine 50 million people are in the street. They don't have a home to go to. Why they don't come and attack somebody sitting in his house to sleep or to take his food, or they're hungry, they're cold, they're dying? Do you think they're gonna think straight like us? Or they're gonna think straight like me now think straight? When you are in that position, how can you think straight? Now, if the government doesn't want to do it, maybe each governor can do it. Maybe the governor of California can start. Maybe the governor of New York, which I like that guy, the brother of Coney. He's a very straightforward man. I'm not saying I'm a genius, but maybe he didn't think about this idea. Now, and this is not money being thrown away like the 4 trillion they threw away in the beginning of the pandemic. Because between me and you, the 4 trillion, who see them? Who feel them? Where do you see him help what? Each one of us, the most he got is a check for $1,200. That's it. Business, they give the business and they give the airplanes and who cares about those people? Those people have millions anyways. I'm not mad of them. I'm not jealous of them. But how can you help the rich and leave the poor? Those people are not dying of hunger. But the people I'm talking about, they're dying of hunger. We see online, every day they show on TV. They're dying of hunger. And they're going to be kicked in the street. So, if the United States government make the move and buy the 15 million house, they're not throwing away the money. They're actually going to own 15 million house. But instead of they belongs to the landlord and they have to fix issue between the renter and the landlord, no. Let's forget about all that. We buy the houses and we will refinance it to the people living in those houses so they don't get kicked out their way. They are the government. They know when the pandemic is finished or is close to finish, who's working, who's not working. They can start buy all these houses and make an order for each one leaving the house. Even if the payment is $2,000, start with $500. It's the government. They can do that. Because the math I was saying, if we say that each house in the average is going to be 400,000 and the owner is only own half of it, 200,000 times 20 times 15 million is 3 trillion. And that's a loan. That's not a giveaway. They will collect it on time. They will know who's the people living in the house. Yes, they give them a place to live until this pandemic get away. And they can own those houses. And they can start making payments. And now we're talking about the government. You can play with the landlord. He take you to court. You take him to court. People can mess around with each other. But who can mess up with the government? And if someone make that move and make what I'm saying come true, America is never going to forget his name for the next 100 years. He's going to be in history. And this is the way American act. And this is the way America should act to show the world that that's why it is America. Nobody else did it, nowhere in the world, but we always number one. We can start showing the world how we fix the problem. Is that going to finish the whole problem? No, but it's going to take care of 50-60% of it. First of all, you relax 50 million citizens. You make them safe. And you relax 50 million landlord with their family. I mean, there are 15 million landlord with their family, there are 50 million. So, with 3 trillion, you give a relief to 100 million Americans. The biggest relief they can even dream of. And instead of throwing 4 trillion given away for people didn't need it, because 80% of that money went to people don't deserve it. And the 20% left went to the people poor, which is not fair. When we have crises like this, we have to take care of the people who needed help for real. I don't care if a millionaire loses 10 million because he have 100 million, he still have 90 million, he can sleep comfortable. But when you have $500 in your pocket and tomorrow you have $5, where are you gonna go? What are you gonna do? Who are you gonna ask for help? People doesn't wanna hear you. Friends and family, and nobody wanna hear nobody. Because everybody is going through a hard time. And whoever have money is scared from tomorrow. If they help you in the past, they're not gonna help you now. So we only have God up there, and we have our government can help us in Earth. The solution is not gonna cost them anything. What's 3 trillion for the United States government? Last February or January or April, they gave 4 trillion away. They just give them away. No, I'm talking about 3 trillion loan. And you're gonna help 100 million Americans that they needed help. You're really gonna fix a problem. I don't know. That's what my brain went to. I hope I'm making sense. And I hope anybody have authority here. And he can do it the way he wants, just the idea. Maybe the government will fix it a different way, but that is a solution. And I don't see any other solution. For them, piece of cake. We're not talking to a company we're not talking to a person. We're talking to United States government. That they help any country with trillions of dollars in weapon and whatever. They just give away every year 5 trillion here, 2 trillion there, 7 trillion there. Well, before you help all these people, help us. Help for America to stay in defeat. And then collect the money. Once the pandemic is over, fix the loan. Let the people pay for the house. I'm not saying this as a given away gift. There is no gift in here. He's just fixing the issue. In a perfect way, make everybody relax, The landlord is happy. The renter are happy. They're not going to be in the street. Because if you don't do that, those 50 million human beings, they're going to be in the street. They're going to cost the government trillion and trillion and trillion of dollars to take care of them. And half of them is going to die for no reason. Like we hanging them. So do we hang him or we help him? And let's say I'm wrong. It's not 3 trillion. 4 trillion? 5 trillion? Is going to make that? United States of America, the most powerful country in the world, cannot help with 5 trillion and take this problem out. And once they take this problem out, they take the pressure of 1/3 of the American. Once you take the pressure, those people, they're going to appreciate whoever did it, they're going to appreciate the country more, and they're going to start thinking, relax, how they make money, how they can help the country, how they can move around, how they can, so many beautiful, bright ideas going to come after this happens. Because people are going to be relaxed. How I'm going to look for a job when I know that I'll be kicked out of my house? And what job is going to be secure for me not to be kicked out of my house? But once he give me the house, and I know I have easy payment with the government, I will settle with any job for now. Until things gets better and everybody goes back to normal life. I think a great country like America can do that. I'm not going to say let's make America great again, because America always was great. And I'm American, and if I have an idea, I want to share it with everyone. And I think anyone think about it, he's not going to have a doubt. I don't have a doubt what I'm saying. It makes a lot of sense. At least I'm going to put 100 million people in peace. The landlord and the renter with their family. Equal 100 million. Yes, there are 50 million houses. But these 50 million houses carry 50 million people. And the 50 million houses owned by landlord have 50 million with their family. So 50 million here and 50 million here. We're fixing 100 million people problem at once. What is the cost? $3-4 trillion. And we killed that issue. Then we move to the next step. Food, hunger. Now we know those are the people are really hungry because they was kicked out because they didn't have a job. Now the government start looking for a way to feed them until the pandemic goes away. I don't want the people to be lazy and waiting for the government help. But the government have to take responsibility once they found out the people have nothing to do in their hand. It's in the hand of the government right now. They have to lead us because they have the power, they have the money, they can make the law. As American citizens, each one of us willing to do anything, but we need to have a leader. We need to be lead. So it's the government job to lead us to the right way. It's okay. Each one of us have an idea. He can share it with them. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't feel better than anybody because I come up with this idea. Because I'm helping myself, I'm helping my neighbor, I'm helping 100 million people. Didn't you think I'm gonna go sleep very comfortable? Did you think I wish anyone have authority listen to that video and take just the idea out of it? Maybe he will change it, maybe he'll switch it, maybe he will play with it. It doesn't matter. As long as the idea you go around it, okay, I'm gonna take those houses from the landlord, I'll buy it from them in their fair price, and I'll pay for it because I'm the government, and I'll collect the money. And I'm not losing anything. Tomorrow, the government will be owning 15 million more houses. It's okay. You have bad credit, you have good credit. Now the house belongs to us. And the government, you cannot play with it. They will know when you have money, so you can make payments so much from your taxes, from your cars, they have your social security, you have your name, you have your birthday, you have everything you do. But we're gonna be controlled by the government in our rental agreement, or we're making our payment to the government, not to our landlord. Once this problem finish, we'll go through the food, and then we'll go through the vaccine. And I wish 2021 will be a beautiful year, and 2022 will be over it. Please, please, whoever have the authority, whoever hear that video, just think about the idea. It may sound crazy, but it's not crazy. It's very logic. 4 trillion is a dream for anybody. But for the government, they just give 4 trillion away 6-7 months ago and did not reach the right people. They got wasted. But this time, it's going to help 100 million American citizens. Again, this video is going to go to, I'm going to try to send it everywhere. I don't care. I don't even want to mention my name in it. I just want the idea to go to someone. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm doing it from my heart to everybody, but I'm doing it for myself first because I am one of those people. And I believe if I'm going through it, there is 15 million people are worried tonight, are not sleeping tonight. They're worried about their kids tomorrow. They worry about their wife. They worry about how they're gonna do it. So God bless us all. I hope someone, I don't care who he is, President Trump, the new elected President Joe Biden, the governor of California, which I like that guy. I don't know why a lot of people is against him. I think the guy is looking for the people benefit. And if he putting rules, it's because he want to protect everyone in California, because we've been hit very bad by Corona. So why should we go against him? For what? He making a lot of sense. If you want to close business or close nightclubs or close bars, it's not because he wanted to show power. He just want to save his state, right? We elected him. And I don't think he's not making sense. He's making a lot of sense. But again, forget about politicians, forget about anything. Just hear my idea. And I wish everyone like what I'm saying. And I wish I can see that dream come true. Because It's so simple for the government to make that move. I won't be more longer. You guys have a beautiful day, and I wish I explained myself right, and I wish I pass you the best what I have. You have a beautiful day, and we'll talk later. God bless you.